What's going on, everyone? So, Lakers pulled off the win yesterday. They do have another game today against the Philadelphia 76ers, so you got to make sure you pull out that win. Got to make sure you keep pace and do what you're supposed to do. But yesterday went very well for the Lakers. So Lakers right now are on a 4-game winning streak. They have won 6 out of the last 7 games, and on top of that, they are in the 5 seed, a game behind the Denver Nuggets. They are tied in the loss column with Denver, so they're right there. And now just need to get the 2 wins to catch up, which if they close out the rest of this month, they would have the same wins. Obviously, Denver's going to play more games in that time too and stuff, but you're basically essentially right there with Denver for the 4 seed. Still a bit of ways from like the Grizzlies and especially the Rockets, but you're also only 2 losses in the loss column difference from the Memphis Grizzlies. So, you're still in striking range from Memphis. You're still in striking range for maybe even moving up into the 3 seed. Right now, it looks like we're headed for another Denver Laker first round matchup. But I'd like to at least have home court, right? Where at least 4 of the games are in LA. That would be nice. But also the Clippers lost too, which is huge. So the Chicago Bulls ended up handling business against the Nuggets, and then the Phoenix Suns handled business against the Clippers, even though they almost choked that game off. But they ended up pulling it out and ended up beating the Clippers, which now gave us a full game on the Clippers. And we still have more matchups against them coming up that we have to win, continue to stay in front of them, continue to keep pace and make sure we're doing our end. And then, of course, trying to catch up with the Denver Nuggets. We're going to have more matchups against the Nuggets. Our next Clipper matchup is February 4th. So we got that matchup. And then our next matchup against the Denver Nuggets is February 22nd. So those are very important. And then we play the Clippers again, back-to-back games. Not back-to-back days, but back-to-back games at the end of February, February 28th, and March 2nd. So you got the Clippers 3 times in the next month that you're going to need to win all 3 of those. Or bare minimum at least 2. So you at least hopefully going into those games still have that 1 to maybe 2-3 game lead, and then you win one. Now you got another full game. You win another one. You got another full game, right? Kind of be able to keep pace, and then same thing with Denver, right? You play Denver on the 22nd. If you guys are in the same range and kind of at a deadlock or something, if you can pull out that win, now you're the team that's ahead. Now you're the team that got the full game and looking to continue to kind of strive in that direction. And then in March, we play Denver the last 2 times. So a couple games really coming up that are going to be very important. But Lakers are in really good shape. Look at kind of the last 2 games of this month. Lakers are 8 games over 500. Play the Sixers. No Paul George, no Joel Embiid. I know it's a back-to-back. And the Lakers are wearing the jerseys that they're only 1-8 in. You still need to win this game, right? Like you got to get this done. You got to beat the Sixers. You got to beat the Wizards. All of a sudden now you're 10 games over 500, and you're just in a much better position, obviously, because you've won more games. But you're also in a good position because now you're going into kind of the home stretch here for the trade deadline. You closed that road trip strong, which is another big thing we want to see, right? Because the Lakers so far are 2-0 on the road. Lakers have a great home record. They have, I think it's 3rd best home record in the entire NBA, but it's been on the road. You got to be able to win on the road. And so far we're 2-0 on the road. You handled those 2 games against the Sixers and the Wizards. All of a sudden now you're 4-0 on the road trip, closing out with the Knicks and the Clippers. And now the Clippers are actually like a road game because they got their own stadium, their own arena, their own fans and stuff like that. So, but if you could finish, these last 4 games on the road before you go back home for a 3-game homestand, that would be huge, right? Like, and not just that, but you put yourself in just, again, a great position in that regard. I'd like to see them at least go to finish out these last 4 games. Got to go 3-1, right? Like I said, beat the Sixers, beat the Wizards, and then bare minimum split between the Knicks and the Clippers. Although I'd love for them to just keep going, all right? Like, because I mean, if you can beat the Knicks and the Clippers, all of a sudden, you might not lose a game again until February 22nd, where you run into Denver. It'd be nice if the Lakers could go on some like 10 out of 11 win run or something crazy like that. But we'll see, right? Obviously, gotta take it one game at a time, progress one game at a time. But Lakers still, obviously they need trades, they need to get stuff done. But something that I've talked about, right? Like the more you keep winning, and the more you're in a good, comfortable position, the more that you have the opportunity to be patient and wait for the right trades, right? Like going and getting a big man like a Nikola Vucevic or a Miles Turner. I know that there's reports that, Lakers don't want a $20 million center and are out on guys and stuff like that. I don't buy it. We got several reports from several different sources that all said that Nikola Vucevic is the number one target, that you could argue is the number one target for the Lakers at this point. And then obviously Miles Turner. It's just, it's one of those things like you're at the trade deadline, right? Like there's incentive to be like, we don't really care about that guy, right? Like, and things like that. It's just, it comes down to like, which source do you trust? And then on top of that, like which, does that negative, like, they don't want a center, they're fine type report, is that just kind of smoke screen, right? Like there's just so much that goes into these reports and stuff and things that benefit. You got to look at who they came from and whatnot. But nonetheless, right? Lakers, if they can kind of continue winning here and get into that trade deadline, they actually have a game against the Warriors on trade deadline day. So we might be shorthanded that day, something to keep in mind. But if the Lakers can pull off a move or two, go get a center ideally, even if it's not like some premier center, even if it's like a backup center in like a Day'Ron Sharpe or Jonas Valanciunas, and then you go and bring in another perimeter guy. Can you bring in like a Bruce Brown or Alonzo or something? Right, you can put yourself in a really good position. But Lakers have the picks, they have the assets, they have the things needed to go and make those minor moves. Look, I've said it, there's no juggernaut in the league. There's no juggernaut in the Western Conference. I think the Lakers have a shot to beat anybody. As currently constructed, I think the Lakers can beat anybody in a 7-game series, but I also wouldn't necessarily trust it, right? Like, I still think the Lakers need another piece or two. And then now, depending on how those two pieces or piece fit, right? Because again, don't underestimate the value of a quality piece. You bring in a guy like a Miles Turner or Nikola Vucevic, right? Talking about a 15-7 guy, but that can stretch the floor, shoot 40% from three. Oh, and also he's one of the better shot blockers and rim protectors in the entire NBA. Oh, and then, Nikola Vucevic, one of the better rebounders, offensive rebounders, and a guy that gets you 20 and 10 on any given night. Oh, and he can also play, make, and dish out, 5 to 10 assists on any given night, right? Like there's just a lot that can influence and impact a team like the Lakers, right? You add in the right piece or two, it could really kind of change the tide. A great example that I always default to is Dallas last year, right? Like when they went and got PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, no one was like, oh, that there it is. Those are the pieces. That's the thing. That's the move that makes them a contender. No, people were going into that. There was questions like, is Dallas even going to make the play-in again? They were having the struggles. There was all the narrative and talk about, can Kyrie and Luka, can Luka even play with another star? Do they actually work and fit? And then, you get the right pieces, the right moves. You get a guy in, Derrick Jones Jr. who really starts to step up and pick it up, and became a legit two-way guy. All of a sudden, they're in the NBA Finals. Right? So if you're the Lakers, you could have something similar happen, right? You get the right piece or two, you add it in a Dorian Finney-Smith, you get a Jared Vanderbilt back. All of a sudden you look up and you could be in that position. You could be in where now you're going and competing and, you're trusting a LeBron and an AD to do what they need to do to kind of elevate this team. But regardless, the Lakers got to get trades done, got to keep winning, got to keep handling business. I really like and am excited for the position that we're in. Going into the season, I said that I thought they'd win, 50 games. 52 games, somewhere in that range. I believe it was 52-30 is what I said I thought the Lakers would finish at. They're on pace. They can absolutely still do that. They just have to continue to work hard. And, if they can get the right trade and the right move, I said they'd be a top 4 to 5 seed at worst. And that's how it's shaping up. And, again, job's not finished. Still got a long way to go, right? A lot of basketball left to be played. A lot of months ahead of just the grind of the regular season. You're going to have good stretches. You're going to have bad stretches. You're going to have, okay stretches. But, it's about being resilient and playing the right way and doing what you're supposed to do. But I'm really excited for where the Lakers are at. This is a good time to be excited and pumped, in my opinion. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.